What is going on, you guys? Yeah, a little technical difficulties, but I got it together there. You know what I'm saying? Better late than never. It is what it is. But you know what it is. It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and you guys have been asked for this, so we are finally bringing it back.
Yes,
We are
sir.
going to do the call in today. Call in live. If you are on YouTube, you can just check on YouTube. The link will be there to join the live chat. Let's all just vent real quick. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of Eagles. I know Philadelphia is not a happy place right now. I know the Sixers got, unfortunately they lost, to the Cavs. We lost to the Nets lost to the Hornets. Everybody's upset. Everybody's mad. Um, Obviously the Eagles are eliminated from playoff contention. The Eagles lost to the Cowboys. How does it really get much worse? But how are you feeling, Brandon? How are you feeling?
It's kind of demoralizing. It demoralizing in the sense of we still had a chance. At the end of the day, it's not only did we still have a chance and that Washington lost, it's on top of that, we lose to the one team that we just don't want to lose to, especially in this kind of situation where it was essentially a playoff game after during the third quarter. And we just blew it. 0 points in the second half. Doug reverted back to old Doug of not running, aka normal Doug. And it's just even the defense didn't there was just no adjustments made early enough. When you saw someone struggling, they still kept them in oh, don't worry, you're gonna get it, you're gonna get it. But we're just getting burnt, and our offense wasn't doing anything at one point. So it was just a bad loss. It wasn't even a close game like the Cardinals or something where things were going well and it's just an unfortunate loss. That was just a bad loss.
Facts. And the Cowboys are trash. I don't care that they
Yeah,
beat us.
and they're trash.
Let's not sit here and act like they became a contender overnight.
That's
They're
what makes it
still
worse.
trash. Exactly. They're still trash. We lost to a trash team. We are a trash team. It is what it is. But I mean, Jalen Hurts had a couple flashes. I did the film review on his turnovers, but if you watch the game, he did definitely have a couple of flashes. Obviously had the bad turnovers, but he's young. It's something to build upon. Hopefully, he can learn from his mistakes and move forward. Is there anything you saw from Jalen Hurts or anybody in particular that, kind of caught your eye?
Yeah, Jalen played well. I mean, he had 400 yards. You just don't get that by doing nothing, right? So, I mean, he did show signs of being a good quarterback, and there's things that you can learn from. For instance, Jordan Mailata has been playing solid throughout his time being able to start at that left tackle position, and he did let out that one sack that caught Hurts by surprise. He coughed up the ball. Mailata fell on it. But a couple plays after that, you could tell Hurts was kind of getting happy feet and was like, "All right, let me just get out of here." It kind of looked like Wentz at the end of his the season before he got benched, where the rush wasn't even there yet, and he was already looking to get out of it. And so that kind of got me worried for a second. But then, I mean, he calmed down. It was just mistake after mistake for just the team in general. False starts, false starts. I don't know what it was, but it was like they were playing not to win.
Yeah, I'll say this much. I don't know who abducted Doug Peterson's body in that first half, but I loved those play calling. I mean, there was a point that we had I want to say more than double run plays than we did have pass plays.
Right.
That's the formula, man.
And why did
that
it
is the formula.
disappear? What we were up one at halftime, 14-13, I think it was. Or maybe they were up 17-14. One of the two. Or that's not possible. But I think they were up by a little bit by the time halftime came. And maybe it was 20-17. But why did we run away from that? I just don't get it. If that worked in the first half, get back to it, because that's how Deshaun Jackson became open. Those kind of plays get open because all we did was run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. And then once you start being pass happy, that only makes it easier for their pass rush and easier for them to know, we know what's coming and we're not too worried about your run now because you're not running it.
Facts. And we didn't run away from it. To your point, we definitely didn't run away from it. We still passed away from it. We avoided every type of run we could. I think Miles Sanders had maybe 2 or 3 carries in the second half. It was ridiculous.
Absurd.
It's ridiculous.
Absurd.
And I understand that our defense couldn't stop anything. Our defense, it was bad. And until they put Jalen Mills in, and obviously it was too late, but until they put Jalen Mills in, at least he stopped the big, the splash plays, the big yardage plays. But Michael Jaquez or Jaquet, whatever his name is, man, he put us in an entanglement. That was bad,
Right.
bro. He was looking bad. I was gonna do my film review on him, but it's like I was gonna curse for like 10 minutes because it was terrible. He was falling, he was
Yeah,
tripping, he
he
was
was
just out
falling
of
a lot.
position. The penalties, it's like ridiculous. And for this goes back on Jim too. For you to be a NFL coach, a former head coach at that, and to not see that. I understand we don't have the depth that we had in the beginning of the year. I understand that. I understand you wanted to cut a bunch of people that could have at least been depth, but that's a whole different talk. But either way, I understand we don't have the depth right now, but we had Mills. The fix that they did, I want to say it was like midway through the third quarter that they put Mills back at cornerback. That could have happened easily,
Right.
way quicker. At least
Right.
after the first quarter. I mean, they put up. It was a point where I think he hit 10 in a row. Dalton was hitting 10 in a row. And you're not making a change.
As soon as Fletch went down, it was a wrap. And that's what kind of like I you gotta have to think about too, is like we didn't have Josh Sweat out there. We didn't have Derek Barnett. So our next guy was Vinny Curry. Vinny Curry and Jannard Avery on the opposite side of Brandon Graham. It wasn't the same rotation, and we were missing those guys. And when Fletch went down, it was a wrap. Malik Jackson couldn't do anything. He was having a hissy fit on the sideline, and Hargrave couldn't do anything. It was just bad.
And I want to know what kind of stingers we're giving out in Philadelphia. Because Jordan Howard had a stinger last year, I believe it was, and we didn't
Yeah, he
see
was
that
out
man.
for
Yeah, we didn't see
weeks.
that man for weeks.
Weeks.
Exactly. Like, and now you got Fletcher Cox, who's a man beast, a man dog. He gets a friggin' stinger, and he's out of the game. Like I gotten stingers. I'm sure you've gotten stingers in high school and stuff like that. I'm sure it's a lot different, but like, how severe are these stingers? Are we sure these are stingers? Like, come
Yeah,
on.
there has to be something different, but I get it too. You want to save Fletch; he's getting older, but that was a playoff game. We're done.
Facts,
It's out.
facts.
We're out.
Facts. And to the freak, and that, before we start getting people in here, I have to ask you, what are your thoughts as far as Washington? Are we
Let,
mailing this in? Are we just
bro, why would we win? We would just be shooting ourselves in the foot. Winning, oh, we want to be able to go to next year. Yeah, I guess, but no, because even if you don't feel like drafting at the number 3 spot, let's say if we get the number 3 spot, if you don't want it, you could trade back. You could get a lot more value out of that number 3 pick than a number 10 pick because we decided to have a moral victory for no reason. I mean, we're not going to have Fletcher Cox. I think Mailata's in concussion protocol. We're still down our D-backs. It's not like they're going to get healthy overnight. They're done for the season between Maddox and McLeod. And what do we gain out of it? We gain nothing. And then next thing you know, the Cowboys are going to be in the playoffs because of it.
yeah? And I will say, at least when the Cowboys, I mean, excuse me, when the Eagles won last year with our practice squad, 17-9, let's never forget. At least after that, it was said and done. We didn't need the Cowboys. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like that's one thing I will say. When we won, we won. It wasn't, there was no questions afterwards. But yeah, I'm on the same. I'm on the same exact train. Like I am not trying to help the Cowboys in any way. The only
No.
people I've seen saying, let's win this game, Eagles, are Cowboys fans lately. So
Right. It's only Cowboys fans. Otherwise, everyone's okay with, you know what? Let Washington do their thing. They kind of have a happy-go-lucky story, like Ron Rivera getting over his cancer, Alex Smith coming back. If it's not Eagles this year, Washington, I haven't been able to develop a rivalry with. Old school back in the day, I heard like the rivalry was huge, but because Washington has been so bad for so many years, I don't have any animosity toward them. That team is just like they've always been at the bottom of my eyes. Yeah, they've had a couple seasons where they snuck up top and everything, but they find themselves right back at the bottom. So I'd rather have them, since I know like nobody that's a Washington fan, than have to hear either Cowboys or closet Giant fans that would have just came out the woodworks if they make the playoffs.
yeah, and I mean, I feel like I've said this to somebody else, and we'll get my guy in here. I already see him back here, but I I feel like Washington and the New York Giants can actually use a top 5 pick. I don't think while it would be nice for the Eagles, I don't think the Eagles or the Cowboys are like a top five player away from,
Yeah, but
being Super Bowl. It would help. Don't get me wrong.
yeah.
It always helps, but I think it hurts the Giants and the Washington football team to make the playoffs more than it would us. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
for
It would
sure,
be
because
better
they
for
would have.
us.
But hey, if we end up losing and we end up getting, let's say, the number 3 or number 4 pick, we can get a guy like Chase Young on our team for once now. Because when you draft that early, you're almost guaranteed a good player unless you reach because you think you're the smartest man out there. And
Facts.
that would be infuriating if we take like a day 2 guy in the top 5. Oh my God, Philly would blow up. Philly would blow up.
That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take Marcus Smith 2.0. I'm calling it right now. I'm calling it right now. All right, so we did open up the line. So if you guys want to join, talk your junk, or if you want to just vent, if you're an Eagles fan, feel free to. We do have a staple of the show. I feel like this is my guy right here. So we got to bring my guy in here, man. What's up, Braden?
What's up?
Hey.
What's going on, brother? How are you? How are you feeling? I know it
Not
can't be
much.
great.
I was literally when I saw that link, I'm like, I gotta get in here.
Hey, that's
You're
what I'm
always
talking about.
welcomed.
Yeah. So let me start with saying I think the Eagles are gonna win next week because they shouldn't win, and I think they are gonna win because
Yep.
I think they're gonna be like, oh, it doesn't help, and they're gonna win, and they're gonna actually try, even though they should do the exact opposite for once.
Right.
Well, they should still try, but like, don't make it like a don't don't make it like they should lose like instead of win.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell your team to lose, And I told Brandon earlier, I kind of want it to be like a last second. We have the chance to win, but we just kind of kneel it and say it's yours. Like I do want to see our team play well at least, and especially with the young guys. Is there anybody that you want to see play well tomorrow? Like, or not tomorrow, but
Oh,
Sunday.
by the way, they play Sunday night. It was a change.
Yeah, they flexed it. They flexed it Sunday night.
Right. Sweet. So then we could just watch our team either lose or win, which is a loss for us in prime time.
This is definitely a lose-lose situation. But is there any
Jeez.
players you're excited to see that you think maybe could make an impact on the game?
Not really. Like,
I love it.
like for honest, the player that could have the most impact would probably be Darius Slay at best, which is
He finally got that interception you've been asking for.
That was a pretty one too. That wasn't like a floater. That was a let me get that one.
he literally came in at the last second, and I don't even want to be reminded, but about that call, that Jalen Hurts call. Oh my
Yeah.
God!
Did you think it was a
were
fumble?
down.
That's what I'm saying. I saw it, and I did a
I
little
could
film
tell
review.
how they called it a fumble because the ball was kind of coming loose, but two knees were down. Like and the ball wasn't fully out. And like even this Dan Bellino guy said it was
Yeah, the Dan Blandino, or I can't say his name either.
Yeah.
Yeah, he even said that it wasn't a fumble. I mean, I don't understand how you review that and still get it wrong. Like that's one of those
that's probably gonna go down as one of the worst calls ever. Cause like
I think so. A lot of people are hating though, and they're saying that it was a fumble. So what do you think, Brandon? Do you think it was a fumble?
I think it didn't matter. I think that
Yeah, it
at that
always
point
matters.
I was just defeated. It was just like it was just another thing. It was like, oh, there's a cherry on top. Now we're not gonna get that.
I think we would have probably still lost that game, but it would have at least been a one-score game, most likely.
We should have scored after we got that Darius Slay interception. If we scored there, there's still it was the end of the third quarter. We still had a whole nother quarter. We would have been down 3.
Yeah. And I think our team, I think Fletcher Cox, that after that our team just collapsed after the Fletcher Cox injury. They just collapsed and they couldn't get anything going.
Not at all.
That was a big loss.
And Jalen Hurts had like 3 picks. I think he had 2 picks. I'm pretty sure. 1 in garbage time.
Jalen said, yeah, he had 2.
1 in the red zone. And Jalen Hurts played all right.
He wasn't terrible.
He wasn't terrible, but he also wasn't the best ever. Like,
Right.
in my opinion, our best, our best, best game for Jalen Hurts was last week. But also,
Yeah, against the Cardinals.
yeah, even in the Saints one, he won. I think that next season, I think we have to get somebody good in the draft that we can actually develop. I mean, the thing with the football team, they just get first pick after, like, they just get good picks, but they somehow cannot find a way to win. Like, somehow.
Right.
So do you think we're gonna hire a new GM or coach, or do you think anybody's getting fired?
News that Doug is probably gonna stay for next season, which I'm really sad about that. I think Doug should be fired immediately, like right this second at 7:22. He should be fired.
How about Jim Short? Do you think he still deserves his job?
I think maybe, because Jim Shorts had one bad half this game. Second half. Gave up like 34 points in just one half. Because
thanks.
In the first half, in the first half, and Jaquette, I give him props to holding D-Hop a little bit, but he got destroyed this game.
I don't know.
He got exposed.
He got destroyed against D-Hop too, kind of. I just feel like we all gave him kind of a pass because it was DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah,
but
it's like, but who did he go against this week? I didn't really know. Who did he go against?
Michael Gallup.
Gallup is their number 3, and he looked like an all-star.
I mean, Gallup is good, but
Gallup is good, and I think the Dallas receiving core is all good. But I think he might be their number 2 because CeeDee Lamb might be their number 3.
That's true. CeeDee Lamb is there. I mean, it depends. I know CeeDee Lamb roasted him too, so I know they were all taking turns on.
Oh yeah, CeeDee. Oh no, CeeDee roasted the slot god.
Everybody roasts the slot god. I think I could roast the slot god at this point. That boy cannot cover anything. He can't cover the present.
And Ronnie McLeod was a big loss. I also think that this team is kind of is going into the rebuild stage. I think we need to take 3 years, around 3, to rebuild. I think we should. I think we'll either mess up the pick and take a punter from Maine University, or we will make a good pick and pick Jamar Chase. And then next season, I think we should not tank, but we should try. And I think we'll probably go around 8-8, somewhere around there. I think Jalen Hurts will start. I think Doug Pearson, everybody will be back, because I don't think they're gonna. I think all of them should be fired, but I don't think I think they're gonna stay for at least one more season. And then I think we'll take a good guy. I think we should take, and then the season after that, we'll kind of had a better season. I think by then, Doug will be fired, and probably Howie will be out of there, and Jim Schwartz maybe will stay, because he's inconsistent, but he has been pretty decent this season when you really think about it. We only the most points we gave up is 37. That's a lot, but saying we played some pretty good teams like the Cardinals and the Browns, it's saying more. But yeah, so I think after that season he'll be out there, and I think by year 3, I think we'll I think it will be all to the draft, because we are low on salary cap this season. And I can't really say. The football team, they're okay. They're okay. They Antonio Peyton Barber, or whatever his name is, rushed for 200 yards this week, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, whoever makes it from the NFC East is gonna definitely be a quick exit. It's not gonna be. It's gonna be in the first half that it's gonna just basically be over. But
yeah, and also our running backs, we have pretty bad running backs. We have Miles Sanders. Our second string is Corey Clement. or I think he might even be a third string.
Who?
Probably like a
Corey
fourth
Clement.
string.
Corey Clement's our
Honestly.
third, at right now at
Okay.
least.
I know Corey Clement is from Philadelphia because my cousin went to school with him, so I know he's from Philadelphia area, and I think he's like real. I think Corey Clement can develop, but I don't think he will. He needs. I feel like when you come to Philly, you're automatic. Don't you just can't develop? You're gonna stink your first couple seasons.
Yeah, it's all on coaching. I mean, like you said, though, we got to start making some coaching moves. So
Right.
you said that you think it's Jalen Hurts. So that's what you're going with. Jalen Hurts is the next Eagles starting quarterback for next year.
Yes, because when you really think about it, he has played good. I think this week we're gonna win, sadly, but I think we're gonna win by like 7 points. Jalen Hurts will throw for like 200 yards and 2 pass TDs, and I think Jalen Hurts can develop even with bad coaches because, like, when you think about that, he came in literally the first game and won it and played good with bad coaching plays picked. Like, some of these coaching plays were horrible. And, like, so yeah. And I have a question for you. Who do you think will select in the upcoming draft? And who do you think is the right option?
I mean, I think we've all been stressing and hoping that we get like a linebacker. I would like Micah Parsons just because I think that we need to invest in our defense. I think we have some solid wide receivers and that we can keep developing them. And maybe, just maybe, if how we can work something in the cap or work out a trade, because we still have Marquise Goodwin on the team. Like, he's gonna be here next year unless he opts out again or something like that.
That was a big loss this season.
For sure. That was a veteran speedster. I mean, he doesn't stay healthy like D-Jax, but they could have traded.
He's like D-Jax.
Right.
Yeah,
so I would go with Micah Parsons on defense.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the same way. I'm going either cornerback if there's somebody that they think is good enough to go, that high.
Maybe
Micah Parsons. Yeah, I'm hearing his name a lot. So maybe if we can go with that, or I don't know. We'll see. I definitely think it needs to be on defense, though.
Do you think? What about that left tackle, Penny Sewell or whatever his name is? Like,
I don't think we need a left tackle. I think that if we keep developing Mailata, or at least see what our other first round pick left tackle and Dillard has, then we experiment with that. I don't think we need to use our first round pick this year to address the left tackle or even actually linemen, to be honest.
Facts. All right. So last question I want to ask you. All right. If you were,
and I think we're gonna select either Jamar Chase or Micah Parsons. I think we might select Jamar Chase, but I don't think we need him. We really don't need him because we have Marquise Goodwin, Deshaun Jackson, Travis Fulgham. Hopefully, we can have Travis Fulgham back. But yeah, what's your question?
All right. So last question for me. I got. Damn, what was I gonna ask now? Now I forgot. Now I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh man! So what is your score prediction for this game coming up? Last question. What's the score prediction coming up? Because I totally forgot what I was going to ask. But
24-20. I think we're gonna win, but I do have to say one more thing. Sixers are playing right now, so yeah.
I hope they lose.
Aren't they playing?
Yeah, they're playing right now. Shout out to Philly Take with RB. I know he's live with play-by-play. Yeah, it is what it is, man. Let's not talk about basketball. I'm already hurting enough. Man. Come on. Hey, man, I appreciate you coming on here, Braden. You already know, man. You're always welcome.
If you remember the question, I might come back on.
All right.
Remember the question.
I'm going to try to remember it then, definitely. My guy. Be safe, bro.
Peace out, Braden.
And we do have Bashir Randall on here. I want to just say before I get to there we go. He's still here. Before I do get to here, shout out to Vince Rosario. He's a Cowboys fan.
Yep.
saying all this EA. That's why I don't want to
He's
win.
fake. That's
You know
fake.
what I mean? That's why I don't want to win because people like him. You know. Oh, he said he had a question. Well, we'll get him back on here. I don't know if Bashir's still here. Bashir,
Hey, what's
my
going on, my
guy.
guy?
What's up, fellas?
What's good, bro? How are you doing, man?
I'm doing fine. I'm watching the Sixers game right now. I'm pretty good.
I was like, I wish I was there. Sure, I'm over
Yeah,
here talking about
I'm
football.
watching the
I'm
Sixers
actually
game.
amazing right now.
Yeah,
But how you feeling about these Eagles, man?
I don't know. Fuck the Eagles, bro. I'm watching the Sixers. No, but all seriousness, no. I mean, the Eagles, man. I mean, we are in this place because of one man, Howie Roseman, the Weasel. He needs to get off the team, bro. Period. Listen, bro. We're in a rebuilding phase, and I mean, I think we need a fresh start, bro. From 2017, it's like nothing changed, bro. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Howie Roseman was making moves after moves after moves to rebuild the team and get us in best contention. And then since then, he just stopped. And then you notice what one thing he did was the moves he made were always cheap moves. He continuously being cheap, and it's not his money. I don't understand it. Like it's not your money you're spending. It's Jeffrey's. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So it's like I don't understand it. Like you could see it like cheap moves. I'm trying to think. He gets a lot of practice squad guys. He don't get big name guys. He don't invest in skill positions. This dude is a mess, bro. And until he goes, I swear we're never gonna do anything, bro. Like we could have the best coaching staff in the world. As long as he's here, bro, he's gonna find a way to mess it up. That's how I feel.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. I mean,
It went from him like looking like a genius, right? Like all of a sudden, like we put together this team post Chip Kelly, and then we get a Jay Ajayi that was actually coming off a pretty good season for a fourth round pick, and we're hyped about that.
Right.
And then we let Blunt go. Then we get Golden Tate. We don't use him at all. We
Yeah, yeah.
failed to use him.
And
And then
then
we get
then he
Jannard
brought he
Avery. It
brought
just
in
keeps getting
Chris
worse and
Long.
worse.
Like he brought in Chris Long one year. That was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, like it's just crazy, bro. It's like with Howie, bro. I think his whole thing is he feel as though because he got put in the janitor's closet. You know what I'm saying? I gotta prove myself again. Like Howie Roseman, bro, like you're a freaking nut. Like, come on, dog. Like there's no way you could tell me that you pass up DK Metcalf and Justin Jefferson for JJ and Rager. Like I just can't myself see me doing that. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Now was I hyped when we got Rager? Yeah, because we needed a receiver, but
Right.
we missed up on Jefferson. That's what it's looking like, bro.
facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So
I feel like we've missed out on a lot of people, and
We
yeah.
and like you said, you look at Howie, and you could say genius. You could say some of his picks worked, and back then he was a little bit ahead of the curve as far as getting those 28-year-olds that
Mm-hmm.
were like Patrick Robinson. That
Like
are
the veterans
they
and all them, yeah.
exactly that they're not
Yeah.
old, but they're
Like a
not
Will
young.
Parks. Like a Will Parks.
Yeah, like a Will
Yeah.
Parks, and he still is trying to do that, and it's just not the way of the land anymore. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And the smartest guy in the room thing always seems to keep coming up with him, whether it be personnel decisions, whether it be draft decisions, whether it be whatever it is. Um, it's going to be very interesting to see how he deals with all of these cap issues. You know what I'm saying? Because you put yourself in this bed, or you made the bed. Now it's time to lie in it.
Yeah.
Type of deal is going to start happening. We're going to
All
see
right.
if you can actually get out of these
Yeah,
contracts. So,
that's what I said. I said in my video, I said you made your own fire and you have no solution to put it out. That's stupid. Like, listen, now, like I said, I never once have any hatred or I'm saying thing towards any man. Like I respect Jalen Hurts. Let's say he's my quarterback, whatever, as of right now. But I still hate the pick. Like I don't care if he threw for 1,000 yards. Like I still hate it, bro, because the thing about it is you yourself put yourself in a position where you made everybody turn on Carson Wentz because I guess you could say he didn't look good at a certain point. I mean, obviously he looked trash. But I mean, if the man made the bid, why don't you sit down and let him? What's the phrase? You made the bed so wet it or something like that. I don't know. I don't know the phrase. But I'm saying you wet the bed, now you lie in it exactly. You know what I'm saying? Carson was trash. Now you should just let him finish out the season. Now let me ask you a question. You put in Jalen Hurts for what? What did we accomplish?
I mean,
What did we accomplish?
on the surface, you got exactly the same thing. What did we accomplish when we put in Foles like 2 years ago?
Yeah, like
realistically, I feel like it's kind of the same situation. We're in the same exact situation. We didn't obviously make the playoffs this time, but
yeah,
you have the controversy now brewing. But it's at what point is it Wentz seems to he's the common denominator. You know what I'm saying? If Wentz continuously finds himself in this position that he's either getting outplayed by the backup or he's, getting outshined by the backup, whatever it may be, at some point, Wentz, I mean, does 100, if somebody gave me $100 million and said, don't worry about that guy standing behind you, I'm gonna probably believe you. I'm gonna be like, okay,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
care. Whoever it is, he can stand behind me. I'm making $100 million. Like I feel like there's some type of disconnect with either this franchise and Carson or just Carson in the city, which I think is a very underlying story. I think that's probably a big part of it. It takes a lot to be in Philadelphia as an athlete.
That is
You,
true. That is
so
very true.
it just might not. I will say 10 times over that Carson Wentz physically and athletically is not maybe athletically, but physically as a quarterback is probably 10 times better than Jalen Hurts will ever be, if we're being
Yeah,
100% honest. But if Jalen Hurts has the mentality to stay within himself in this city, that's going to pay dividends. That's going to
yeah,
pay
that's
huge
true.
dividends to him going
Yeah,
down the
like
career.
and then I don't appreciate people like Tiki Barber. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I have no this no knock on another man's creed or anything like that. But I mean, wasn't the picture of him wearing dresses and all that stuff like that? But that's either near or there. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like like Tiki Barber, you're a giant speaking on Eagles business. Like I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got guys like Ryan Clark, who was a Steeler. Dominique Foxworth, who was a Raven, speaking on Eagles business, talking about especially Ryan Clark. He said something like Carson Wentz is not tough, or Jalen Hurts is tougher, or something like that. And they love to use this phrase, Jalen Hurts is a winner. What the hell did he win? 2-1. Not, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not Hurts.
Facts.
You know what I'm
Those
saying?
are
I don't
facts.
understand this.
And on top
It,
of that, we're one
yeah,
and
go
two
ahead.
with Hurts in.
Yeah.
Those are facts.
Yeah, like I'm saying, bro, and this whole thing that Carson was this, Carson was that, Carson was the least of our problems, bro. Doug Peterson is the problem. He should go. Listen, Doug Peterson, Howie Roseman, and Jim Sports all should be fired by the start of next game. I don't care. We could lose by 50. I won't care. You know what I'm saying, because I just want to draft somebody. You know what I'm saying, because
Facts.
all I'm if by time draft night come, Howie Roseman should not be at a desk. Doug Peterson should not be, I'm saying, the Eagles head coach, and Jim Sports should not be in the city. That's how I feel, bro.
They need to
You know,
get that
I got, I
closet
got,
ready
I
for
got a
Howie again.
license. I could take them, Philly airport, bro. I got a license. I live right there. So it's like, it's right there, bro. It's just this whole thing is just messed up from the ground up, bro. And for Jeffrey Lurie not to really say anything, bro, it makes me get mad at him too, bro. Because how you just sit back and watch your franchise crumble like this? Like
Right.
it's a mess. It's a mess, bro. It's crazy.
Now, do you think this is comparable to the Chip Kelly era, or was Chip Kelly just a whole different beast?
Chip Kelly wasn't no nut, if that's what you asking. He wasn't no nut. I'm saying. I mean, I think this situation. I think Chip Kelly was worse. I think Chip Kelly was worse, bro. Chip Kelly probably was worse. But one thing I say about Chip Kelly, you know what I'm saying, he wasn't afraid to, get the job done. Like he did it his way and his way only. If he wasn't on his wave, you're gonna have to go. Look at DeMarco Murray. We had him for like what 1 year. Then we shipped him back out or something like that. Did we have him for a year?
And then he
Yeah, we
killed
had
it
him
on the
like I think
Titans.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he killed
I
it on
don't.
the
I'm not gonna lie.
Titans.
That was my fault, y'all. You say what?
There you go.
Oh no, I was saying then DeMarco Murray killed it on the Titans. So
Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying,
Chip
like,
Kelly was the worst.
yeah, it wasn't DeMarco Murray like killing the league when he was on Dallas. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like he was putting in work, and then he came to the Eagles, and it just all like disgusting. So I don't know, bro. Like this
Yeah, it's
team
been.
is crazy.
And who was there when all that was going on? Howie Roseman. So
Yeah.
we're finding a common denominator. Shout out to my boy Vince Rosario again. He's just gonna say stupid stuff, so we're gonna keep on reading
How,
it.
how,
He
how do you blame
said,
coaches when players are literally not showing up? Well, I mean, you could say that, but in a sense, coaching are supposed to find these holes on the team. Like Doug Peterson, why are you going forward on 4th and 15, but not 4th and 3? What don't you trust?
mm-hmm.
You really have no trust in Jake Elliott. What's his purpose on the team? That's all I want to know.
Right.
You would rather him kick a 50-some yarder on Heinz Field Is that the pitch? Is that the Steelers field, right?
Yeah.
Hines. Yeah,
Yeah.
when it's raining and muggy outside, but inside a dome, you don't want to kick a 44-yarder. Like, that's coaching. That's not playing. That's coaching, bro. And until you get coaching right, this team is never going to be good. Never, bro. Like, I don't care. You had the Hall of Fame class. If they can't be coached, we're gonna be suck. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy.
Facts. Yeah, I was just having this conversation with my boy who's a Ravens fan, and we were
Yeah.
just talking about Lamar, and him doing well and what. And he's a perfect example of coaching is so much more important than just one player's attributes. It's awesome if the guys like can run like Usain Bolt. That's awesome, but if you can't
Right.
scheme it into a football game, it's not going to help you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
and that's exactly what we've seen, whether it be Carson Wentz. And to your point, earlier you asked, what did we get from starting Jalen Hurts? I think a solid, definitive showing that this is Doug Peterson, that Doug Peterson is messing up. When we beat the Saints, and even in the first half against the Cowboys, the run comparison to the pass comparison, like play wise, number wise, it was beautiful. That's what we've been asking for. To look at that. The SpongeBob meme when he's just like, that's what we've been waiting for. That's literally what we've been waiting for so long. It was just as easy as a spatula flip. And Doug Peterson showed that he can do it and that he has the capability of calling those plays and then just took it right from us.
Yeah,
and just took it right from us.
Right, on purpose.
Like there's no way Miles Sanders easily should not have 1,000 yards. Why shouldn't Miles Sanders have 1,000 yards? Explain that to me.
Because he doesn't get the ball.
Second year, right? This is Miles' second year. Miles Sanders is our number one running back. Now, if you do running back by committee, he still should have 1,000 yards. It doesn't make sense to why Miles Sanders is not being used properly. And then when you look at it with Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders, that tandem right there is something crazy. Because Jalen Hurts, his legs are something crazy. You know what I'm saying? So Doug Peterson has is just, I don't want to see he's above his head, but clearly coaching is not his fair share, bro. You know what I'm saying? Everybody tell us it's not Doug Peterson because Doug Peterson did this in 2017. If you watch the Super Bowl film, he didn't call Philly. Nick Foles did. You know what I'm saying? So he's not the real mastermind behind the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Frank Wright was there. Nick Foles called the play. What did Doug Peterson do besides go for it every time on fourth down? You know what I'm saying? Like it's nothing, bro. And like I said, this team has a lot of issues, like front office wise. Before we just point out, it's Carson Wentz, it's this guy, it's that guy. It's the front office. You know what I'm saying? This front office stinks. I mean, you bring in John Dorsey. I don't know why, because you clearly have some type of love relationship with Howie Roseman. You know what I'm saying? So clearly, until those things get, until Howie Roseman walk out the door, until just Sports walk out the door, until Doug Peterson walk out the door, this team is going to be in a trouble for a lot of years, bro. For real.
Yeah.
You even look back at last year when we had all those slew of injuries, and then at the end of the year we had our front office come out and they say, we had this guy that we hired last year that he basically just watched, and we paid him just to watch. And now we're injured again. So I don't know what he was watching and what he was changing. We paid a man literally to do nothing last year, but watch our injury squad, our injury staff. That's all he was supposed to do. He was supposed to watch our personal trainers and stuff like that. It seems like nothing has changed. That's what he was doing. Say again?
Watch them for what?
That he was supposed to come in, make a plan, you know what I'm saying, of what we were doing wrong. And try and fix it coming into this season.
And I feel like we're more hurt this year than last year.
It's gotten even worse. It's like, what are
literally
we doing?
got worse.
Listen, I follow you on Twitter, bro. Like when you tweeted during the game, you said, I don't know if I'm looking at the Eagles active roster or depth chart.
The injury report or the depth chart. It's like, bruh, it's like, what am I like? And it's just frustrating because I understand, and I know there's Cowboys fans in this chat, whatever. Yeah, I understand. Injuries are a part of the game. But when it happens this much, this often, you know what I'm saying? To this many people in one position group, it just doesn't make sense. And then the way that they're handled afterwards makes no sense. No sense at all. And I'm not even an animated dude. By shit, you've seen me since like, You know what I'm saying? Since we started
Yeah.
this channel, we've been
Right.
rocking with you, bro. And you know, I'm not like an animated dude like that when it
Right.
comes to this, but like this is
Exactly.
just like,
It's
bruh,
just
like come
ridiculous. It
on,
is
man.
ridiculous. And then the whole thing is this though, bro. I just can't see how we're paying people to literally do nothing. Like, listen, I've got a prime example for you. Marty Mordenwig, what are you doing? What's your purpose? Rich Sprangrello, what's your purpose? Like, remember, we brought all these guys in supposed to hype Carson Wentz. I've been calling for Jim Caldwell the longest. You know what I'm saying? But nobody want to listen to me. I don't know why. I guess I'm a kid. I don't care. But listen, Marty Morningwig, Rich Sprangrello, like, what's your purpose? You're on the sideline with a clipboard in your hand, just pointing at stuff. Like, and my whole thing is, I never see them even talk on the sideline with no quarterback. And he's supposed to be quarterback developers. What are they doing? Sign language? I'm confused. Like, this is like this organization got problems, bro. Like, this joint is really crazy. And then what make it worse is when you're a fan and you realize that the problem, and this people are in the business supposed to be experts at this, and they don't even know what the problem is. That's what makes it
Right.
more frustrating. Like, I'm looking at the same thing you are looking at. Like, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate y'all guys understand. Listen, first of all, shout out to y'all that 900 subs. You know, I had to come on here because,
Hey,
yeah,
good
that
looks.
joke came in with clutch. You know what I'm saying? My man Brandon with the tie. You know what I'm saying? But that joke, man, like, this team sucks, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I don't even want us to win the Washington game. Let Washington win, go to playoffs. Dallas lose. They be a first round bounce. And we just pick Micah Pearson's my guy. You know what I'm saying? So it just need to be there. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
saying
like
so.
it's been
What is
fun,
our
man.
number? What is our number like?
If
Like
we
at
lose,
Bradley?
we're between 3 and 6, depending on what other teams. And if we win, we're between 6 and 10.
We need the
So we need to
Houston.
lose.
We need
We need to
Houston to
lose.
win. We need, I believe, the Jets. I could be wrong about that to win, and we would be like top 4, I believe.
Damn, we really that bad?
Yes, sir.
Hey, yeah, he said-
We really
it
that
doesn't
bad?
feel
Like
like it. It doesn't
that?
feel like it because of our division, because we've been in
Yeah,
the, you know what I'm saying? It's
we
like,
really that bad? So
bruh, it's
I said,
horrible,
but listen,
man.
I'm glad we're you know what I'm saying we're not going to win because you know when you're a division winner, you automatically like a 17-20. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Well, see,
so
that's
so
what's going to happen.
yeah.
There's going to be 3 teams in like the NFC East that are going to have like top 10, top 12 picks. And then one person with a bad record is going to be up there at like the 20th pick just to be
Yeah,
bounced in the first round.
yeah, it's
Or
just not.
not.
It's
Or
not worth
not.
it. It's not worth it, bro. It's like, all right, so if we in between 3 or 6, right? So say, hold on, my fault, y'all. Somebody call my phone.
Oh,
But
you good.
say we in between 3 or 6, right? And you know what I'm saying the first 2 off the board is already Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence. You know what I'm saying? So look, so I'm thinking, I don't want to say they might do it, but if you got teams like, let's say the Jets, because the Jets got what, number 2, right? And they really wanted Trevor Lawrence. So Jaguars already picking Trevor Lawrence, and let's say a team like the Jets pick Justin Fields. So if we between 3 and 6, and let's say you want to rebuild around Carson Wentz, now after what Jalen Hurts putting up, a lot of teams gonna want him. So let's say you would say you'll put Jalen Hurts in a trade package to accumulate somebody first round pick. Would you do it?
I would personally, I said this not too long ago, and I know I've been keep on cutting you off, Brandon. I'm sorry.
I
I'm
didn't say
animated
anything.
today, bro. I'm so
Oh.
animated today. I don't know why. I just keep talking. But either way, no. As far as what's it called, I would personally try and package like Ertz. I would try and package Hurts. I would try and package all these guys that you're trying to get rid of, make it worth something. You know what I'm
Yeah.
Right.
saying? It kind of like we did when, to bring up Murray again, when we did it with Murray to get to Carson, and we did it with other players that, Byron Maxwell, that just weren't fitting our,
Yeah.
Right.
our scheme. You might lose out. I don't think we're going to get as good of deals as we did back then,
Back
but
then, yeah.
you might
never
lose
know.
out. You never know. You're right. You're 100% right. You might lose out, but even if you don't, or even if you do, I think you try to get value out of losing those contracts. I think that's the smartest thing you can do. So if Hertz has that much value that it's like we'll give you a top 15, 20 pick, all right, would you take Ertz too? And maybe we'll take like
Yeah,
a, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
We'll take
yeah,
like a set,
yeah,
a
yeah.
fifth
Just
for him
throw
or
them in
something.
there. Like what I'm saying, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'll throw in who's a bum. I'm trying to think.
Who's a bum?
I'm trying to think like who's a bum on our team. I don't know. Here, you could take Jalen Mills. You know what I'm saying? Like,
If
hey, for free. You know what I'm saying?
For free.
No,
for
no, no
free,
charge. No charge. You just take him. You know what I'm saying?
You
See,
want-
like, it's my thing is this. I don't think you need a receiver now. Would I pass up on Devonta Smith or Mike or Jamar Chase? No, but it's just now. If you would have just picked, see, all this came in because you didn't pick DK Metcalf, like, and that's crazy because I never see one pick really destroy somebody's team like that. Like, that's really crazy. Like you picked if you would have picked DK Metcalf, you wouldn't have picked Rager. You probably would have got Kenneth Murray. You know what I'm saying? But because you didn't pick DK Metcalf, you had to pick Rager, and then you got the other two guys. So if you keep picking receivers, there's gonna be too many receivers on the team. It's just stupid. But I mean, would I pass up on Jamar Chase? No. I mean, but I don't know, bro. I don't know. Now my whole thing is with the draft, I'm going defense, offensive line. That's just me. Offensive line. Oh, you need a center. I probably would draft a center. What's the dude name? I wanted last year the cornerback out of Nebraska, Lamar Jackson. I wanted
yeah,
him
he
bad.
was.
I wanted him passion because I thought if you pair him with a guy like Big Play Slay who can mold him and stuff like that, you'll possibly have like a young tandem on your hands. But now you need to find a cornerback because Avonte Maddox is not it. I will cut him. Jalen Mills stinks. He flex after a tackle when he barely makes tackles.
Yeah.
Um, it, I'm saying
It's a 40-yard game. He's like, wow.
yeah,
Like, bro,
yeah, like
we just
get out,
lost.
Yeah.
get out. Why you in here? Get out. Shut my door. Why are you in here? Get out. Bye. Gosh. Stop, Evans. Chill. It's not funny. All right. But you were saying something, right?
What was I saying? I forget everything today, bro.
Just release everyone. Get rid of everyone.
And to
Yeah,
Vince
get rid of
Rosario.
everybody. Exactly.
Before we keep
Brandon.
going, Vince
You are
Rosario,
Yeah.
it's very easy to share it on Facebook. There should be like a little arrow. So just do
Yeah,
that.
Brandon, you are really true. You need to get rid of everybody. Get rid of everybody, Brandon.
Dude, it's ridiculous. I mean, between some of the linebackers, the defensive line that's not like Malik Jackson, when Fletch went down, we could have relied on the two other high paid defensive linemen to step up, and they couldn't. Instead, we had Malik Jackson having a hissy fit. Javon Hargrave hasn't really done much all season. And then the
Yeah.
only one out there with heart is like Brandon Graham, but one guy can't do it now that there's no threat in the middle. So
Graham, my guy,
Yeah.
too. And I feel so bad for him. You know, it's like the one year you actually get selected to the Pro Bowl, they ain't even playing the damn game. Like,
right.
it's like, damn, you can't catch a break. I mean, and to answer this question real quick, he says, but where is the Wentz support? Listen, nobody hates Wentz. We're looking at this as a franchise, and it might be the best thing for Wentz to move on, to be honest. So, I mean, I don't know where that narrative comes. Nobody hates Wentz.
Right.
But
You
I'm
just
not
gotta- you
sold
gotta
on
be real.
Hurts. But I'm not sold on Hurts. That's why I don't want Carson to go. Because I'm not sold on Hurts. Like, to me, I'm not saying it's easy to shut a quarterback that's a dual threat down, but it's very easy to contain them dudes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is one of them dudes where you could just try to contain them and then the game over. No, but I mean, you look at how the speed of the game going. Guys like Lamar, guys like Kyler, even Josh Allen, for example, Russell Wilson, all these dudes got speed, elusiveness. But if you can say just try to contain them, at least you force them to throw with their arm, you got a chance to win. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
that's
You got a chance to
fair.
win. And Carson Wentz, the only thing about Carson Wentz, his deep ball is not that good. I'm saying Hurts threw a beautiful 81 yarder. You know what I'm saying? But it's just something about the simple fact that I'm not gonna see number 11 out there. It just hurt my heart. You know what I'm saying? I just can't see it. You know what I'm saying? I just can't see it. Now, would I see Carson Wentz go to a different team like the Colts or like the Steelers because Big Ben is old as hell? You know what I'm saying? Even the Saints, even the Bears, like anybody.
The
Carson Wentz,
Patriots,
bro,
Cam
the
Newton's
Patriots. Yeah, I
trash.
was thinking about that. I think about the Patriots, bro, and I don't think he would go there because we've had to play them. But I mean, business is business. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
Facts.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, you
But-
know, it is what it is. So let me ask you one last question before we get you out of here, man.
Mhm.
If you were Jeffrey Lurie and you can make 3 decisions, only 3 decisions, what
Only
would those
three?
three? Only 3 decisions. They could be firing, they could be signing people, trading people. What 3 decisions would you make first?
I'm firing Howie Roseman. That's number one. I'm taking all this money away and I'm firing him. I'm trying to think. I fire Howie. We got John Dorsey. I'm promoting Deuce to be an offensive coordinator, and then I'm bringing in Rob Sla, whatever his last name is, Robert Sla, the 49ers
Oh
defensive
yeah,
coordinator.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I would
Yeah,
love
that
that.
that guy. Yeah,
Sala, I think his last name is Rob Sala.
yeah, Rob Sala, something like that. Yeah, I'm bringing him in because they said something like the Niners defensive coordinator, his contract or something like that's about to be up recently, something like that. Now, no, I'm not saying he's not going to sign, but if he don't sign, I would grab him. You know what I'm saying?
Heck
The
yeah.
Niners defense was one of the best a couple years ago, or probably like 2 years ago, probably last year. So I mean, I would get that would be my three decisions: fire Howie Roseman, promote Deuce to OC, and then bring in Rob Seiler, or either him or what's the dude from the Saints, Dennis Allen, I think that's his name. Yeah, so that's the three moves I would make.
Yeah, the Saints defense got nasty out of nowhere. I feel like
Yeah,
that. Like last year they were all right, but damn, they came
They've
out of
they've
nowhere
they've
this year.
always had the players. I just feel like they choke at the wrong times, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
or the check doesn't go through when they, when the bounty gates out. I don't know.
yeah, but listen though, look. So before I get out of there, bro. So right there, right when you bring up the Saints game and you bring up how Hurts played good against the Saints game, right? But my whole thing is this: if well, I'm not saying because it's called any game of Sunday, but if you could beat the Saints, come close and have a pretty good game against the Arizona Cardinals, and coaching fails and all stuff like that, and you lose to the Dallas Cowboys, and people's excuses is he's a rookie. Where was all this the Saints game? Where was all this
Yeah,
the
facts.
Arizona game? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only thing I have with the fan base, bro. Because look at all my videos. I've been screaming Carson Wentz got played. He's a scapegoat. You know what I'm saying? But I just can't see how Jalen Hurts can be the savior, but then when he play bad, oh he's a rookie. Like
Right.
that's annoying.
See, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm guilty of that. I look at them differently, just because one is a fifth year quarterback with $100 million, and one is, I think, a 21-year old. You know what I mean? Like it kind of is different in my eyes, at least, and that's not fair to Carson Wentz. I do 100% agree that Carson Wentz has gotten played by this organization. Don't get
Yeah,
me wrong, but you can say that about any quarterback, at least for my lifetime. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, I'm like Donovan McNabb. That's kind of where my Eagles tenure really started. So, like with Donovan McNabb, I know they did not give anything to maybe the best quarterback that we put actual weapons around. And this might sound weird, is probably Michael Vick. Michael Vick probably had our best offense.
Oh, for sure. The chip ruined it.
yeah.
Did you
So I mean,
say? Yeah, yeah.
I said that's why I started at like my Eagles tenure, like Michael Vick 2010 to 2011. That's where I really like start watching football and stuff like that. I mean, to your point, yeah, but I just can't see how that whole effect. It just that's just corny to me, bro. That's corny. Like, no, saying. But all right, so Brandon, let me ask you a question, bro. So when you look at teams like the Eagles, teams like the Browns. I'm saying clearly the Browns was probably the one of the worst teams in the league for like damn near the entire since the existence of the NFL,
Right.
probably to like a year or two ago. Um, so what you think happened to got the Browns that good and got the Eagles this bad? Because the correlation is just crazy to me. We were pretty good, now we're pretty bad. They were pretty bad, now we're pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just
I
crazy.
mean, you get so many early first round picks
Well,
that
yeah.
eventually they're gonna have to be better. You know what I mean? When you land a guy in Kareem Hunt to be your number 2 running back, when that's a starter anywhere else in the league, that's insane. When you're able to make a trade for Odell Beckham, even though he's not there, but then you pair him with Jarvis Landry, those two are almost sure hands right there. And then you got a guy in Baker who he's not the best to be the head of the household type, if that makes sense. But the way he's able to manage and just be a manager, that works for Baker. And you're running the ball with Chubb, who's a beast, Kareem Hunt, who's a beast, and then you have the weapons and everything. That's why it works out. And their defense is playing solid. The Eagles, it's just we haven't really changed much besides losing players since 2017. We go to the playoffs, which is cool, but we haven't been able to get past the first round or the second round. Like we've done pretty well the last couple of years. It's just this year we haven't had a transition where it's been like, okay, now we're a little bit worse. Now we're a little bit worse. It literally went from we scraped into the playoffs by doing like heroics to then being completely trash. Like there was no in between. It's just all of a sudden just train wreck. And I honestly, I think we all seen it. That is that we don't run the ball, and that should be our strongest suit right there. And that has been our strongest.
He'll be wilding in the chat saying that.
But I was like, what?
I probably shouldn't be like putting them up. I don't care. They be funny.
All right. So who y'all picking with our draft pick? I'm saying, when y'all go first?
I know. We talked about Jamar Chase and we talked about Micah Parsons. So that's where my heart is. Realistically, my head lately though has kind of been at like if we're in the top 4. I would say look at moving back. Move at like accumulate some points, accumulate some picks because I don't see Jamar Chase. I don't see, as much as I love him, go Penn State. I don't see Micah Parsons. I don't see anybody that we're going to take in those top 4 changing the outcome of this team, especially cap wise. We have to get better at a lot of positions, even depth. Has to get better. So I think we need to, especially if we're looking towards the future, Carson's not going to be here. We're not in a win now position. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be a rebuild. And when you rebuild with picks. That's really what's going to get you there. Not re-signing or trying to sign a bunch of free agents. I see you squirming. What do you feel?
I don't know. I agree in a sense, but I don't. Just because how many times can you pass up on getting? You're not going to be in this position a lot. I hope you hope that your team is never in a position where you're getting top 5 picks, and so why not take someone that you'll have on your roster for 4 to 5 years with a 5th-year option to be that staple of, oh, you only spent $3 million on linebackers. Well, that's because one of our linebackers is a premier linebacker that we had for 5 years. Oh, or for a corner or for a wide receiver that's killing it. Why trade back and try to get depth? And next thing you know, we're not hitting on that depth. We're not hitting it already with the picks that we do get mid-rounds.
That's a big point. And to your point, I don't have much faith that we're gonna pick the right player at 3 or 30. So it becomes one of those things. You're damned if you do, and damned if you don't.
But you know why you don't have faith? Because the weasel is the one picking them. How we roll? Like this is the facts. If he was not in there, I'll have all the faith in the world we're going to pick the right guy, especially with, Jeffrey Lurie and Doug Peterson, just ban them. But Howie Roseman himself, listen, we could have had what? Jeremy Chin. He picked Jalen Hurts. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, it's just Jalen.
Right.
I don't know, bro. Yeah,
if we had Jeremy Chin,
a lot of people, I was having this conversation with a Cowboy fan. They were like, "Oh, you're supposed to have CD Lamb." My thing is, I'm not mad that we didn't move up for CD. Obviously, I would love that we would have. I'm not mad that we didn't use that 2nd round pick to move up and get CD. I'm mad we used that 2nd round pick to get another quarterback. Right. Whether or not it looks good now, it made 0 sense. You know what I'm saying? I would have much rather have that went to. Name somebody, whoever it may have been. I know there's a couple of linebackers that people thought were, higher talents. Yeah, exactly. I was trying to think of his name. But either way, there was a couple of people. I would have rather have somebody that busted at a position that we needed than have Jalen Hurts that, it looks like maybe it was a good decision, but it wasn't. It just wasn't.
I would have used that 2nd round pick. Forget Jalen Hurts or forget, anybody. I would use that for DeAndre Hopkins. That's DeAndre Hopkins. Listen, they asked for your 2nd round pick. You said no. I'm thinking, we about to get somebody in the works. Then when CeeDee Lamb came, Atlanta wanted our 2nd round pick. You said no. I'm like, damn, who we gonna get 2nd round pick? Then you pick Jalen Hurts. Where you get that from? That was just like the most idiotic thing I ever seen.
I said it back then. I would have gave a 1st round pick for D Hop. I mean, we got Jalen Reagor in our 1st round. So you guys rather have Jalen Reagor than DeAndre Hopkins. And another thing I want to say to your point too, Brandon, when you were saying, if you can get this, my thing would be, even if it's future round picks, we have to get all our players that we can that can get us any type of value. Look at what the Dolphins are going to have a top 3-4 pick, and they're about to play in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Just because through
traded.
Houston. Yeah. Through Houston. Yeah,
That's
we have to
high.
play the game
That was
smart,
like
you know.
Jeremy Tunstall trade or Laramie or
Okay,
Laramie
someone.
okay,
Tunsil,
okay.
I
Oh,
believe so. Yeah, I
the
believe
Laramie
so.
Tunsil, trade when they
Yeah,
traded tackle from to Houston. Okay, yeah.
like I mean, we could even look at something like that, getting rid of Andre Dillard or somebody like that that might
I
have
don't want him on my team no more.
value.
That's another one. I got my ladder now.
Exactly. Like we
Yeah,
have to look at it like we have some value in these guys. It's just a thought.
yeah. But I'm packaging Hurts. I'm packaging Hurts. I'm packaging Jalen Mills. I'm packaging $500,000 in cash. You know what I'm saying? And I'm getting rid of you guys. Listen, I easily would do this. I would take those three guys. And who's gonna be like another team that's probably gonna have like a top like Houston? You know what I'm saying? Well, Houston not gonna take Jalen Hurts because they have Deshaun Watson, but they will take Ertz. You know what I'm saying? They will probably take
Linemen, they would
like a
love
tackle or
Dillard.
something.
They don't
Yeah.
have their first round pick though, so we would have to go through Dolphins.
Oh damn! Well, the Dolphins, the Dolphins hot.
They don't need nothing.
They don't need
They
nothing.
they chilling. All they
Yeah,
need is more picks. That's all they want.
all they need is a win to get in the playoffs.
For real.
That's what they need. But, you know what I'm saying? But listen, man, appreciate you bringing me on, bro. Appreciate that
Of
100.
course.
I said 100.
Yes,
And
sir.
900 subs. I said 100. My fault. 900.
100 away.
Just 100
100
away. 100 away
It's
from
100
1K.
away. Yeah, that is true. You know what I'm saying? Probably like two. You know what I'm saying? I seen that joke say nine. Know what I'm saying? But
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
hey.
Listen.
But
Bro,
no, I appreciate you by share, man. You've been rocking with us for, like I said, when you first got on here, you've been rocking with us from the
Yeah.
jump. And I do still need to get on your channel. So don't think I forgot.
Listen,
You know what I'm saying? I read my schedule
whenever you
wrong.
ready. Whenever you ready.
I read my
Whenever you
schedule
ready.
wrong. I gotta come see my fan, bro.
Whenever
So
you ready, bro. Listen, I've been chilling over here, bro. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get up with my Sixers content, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to get back in school. But I'm saying, but I'm about to do my thing, man. But
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
you having me on me, bro.
You already know. Happy holidays, man. Happy New
Happy
Year.
holidays.
Man, Happy New Year, man.
Yes, sir. God bless.
You too, bro.
Oh, I thought you froze for a second.
No, I
But
don't
then
know
I
how to
saw
like.
light.
Now that I have a laptop, I don't know how to like take people off of the stream. So I just hope that they do it themselves. But like, I don't know.
Just sitting there, we're like,
I was
yo,
like,
you can
well,
go now. No, I was
I'm
kidding.
streaming. I'm frozen. No, that's my guy, man. Everybody, make sure to go check out Bashir.
Yes,
Check out
sir.
his streams. Check out his videos. The kid's on the rise. Now, this is another dude. We're gonna actually end it on my guy right here. This is another one, man. I'm gonna say Infamous 2K has been riding with us since
Hey.
the beginning. Just like Bashir. We appreciate him always coming on here, dropping knowledge. What's good, Infamous 2K?
What's up, my guy?
How y'all feeling?
I'm all right now. I ain't gonna cap. Bashir came on here and got me like, you know what? Whatever.
He got me thinking about like packaging Hurts and all that. Actually, now that we have you on, what are your thoughts about that? What are your thoughts if someone came to you with a package that would be worth it, like second, first round pick, whatever, for Hurts? Would you be doing that? Not knowing if Carson's going to turn it around.
That one's hard. So like, let's say for a second round pick, if we're getting okay, so the lowest we can get this year in terms of draft pick is third, right? So in the second round, if we have a second round, third round draft pick, a third overall draft pick, and it's a second round, I necessarily wouldn't do it because unless you really need, I mean, who are you gonna get late? You're not gonna get too much for Hurts. You're not gonna get like a top of the pack or mid pack second round pick. You're probably gonna get more of the 23s like deeper in the second round. So it's like unless it's a game changing guy that you think, which I don't think we can, as we said earlier, we barely can hit on first round. So what's the point of packaging him, heading him off? Because then if it is the wrong decision, and let's say Wentz is just not who he is anymore, or Wentz doesn't fit the scheme, whatever it may be, then you just made a big bad decision. Now my biggest thing is you know who Terry Bradshaw is, the Hall of Fame quarterback. He even said that all Wentz needs to do, he said, get a little tougher, get a little meaner, and come back next year. And one specific guy, I forget his name, he interviewed a GM. He didn't say his name. He interviewed an executive for the NFL, and they said for them to trade him to the Colts and for the Colts not to want him Wentz will be a big mistake for the Eagles. And he says the Colts should try to get Wentz, but if the Eagles end up letting him go, it'll be really bad. Just you try to salvage him, but if he comes back, Doug shouldn't be here, which I think everyone can agree with. Now, here's my biggest thing, right? the whole Hurts thing, and I've been saying this for the longest. I don't think Wentz should stay because if you get rid of Wentz, right, and we're bad next year, and Hurts is still bad, you could still get a decent pick. Now with our pick this year, if we have the third pick, you have to go Penny Sewell. He's a generational talent at offensive tackle. Yes, we have Mulata, but you can cross train him at maybe like tackle. We take Isaac Seumalo, and then Isaac Seumalo, you cross train him at center. Jason Kelsey leaves. You can never have too many really good offensive linemen. So Penny Sewell at left tackle, who people are like he's pretty much he's the Trevor Lawrence of left tackles, right? So if you get him and you have him and Mulata battle it out. If Sewell wins, then put Mulata at like a, and I feel like Mulata has that mental toughness that Diller didn't have.
Yeah.
Diller was making excuses for when he was at right tackle. Mulata just went out. He struggled, but he got a little bit better. He was learning as he went on. So like for him to only have 1 week of reps, and he did okay. I mean, he didn't do the greatest, but at right tackle he didn't do bad. So my whole thing is you cross train him. Now here's the whole thing about the Cowboys game. I'm happy. I'm so happy we lost. I hope we lose next week too. Because if we lose next week, right, the Cowboys don't get in. We get a top 3 pick, and that's all we need. Like the Cowboys don't get in, we don't have to hear nothing from them, and we get a top 3 pick. Now, if we get a top 5, or if we like get Micah, whatever his name is, I'm not picking him. He loves the Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys. I know he's on his team, but you saw his tweet. It was like, I want to stay in AT. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
in
stay there.
blue.
I don't care. We don't need you. Yeah, you can stay in blue. We don't care. And we're gonna pick Jamar Chase. I want Chase. And the thing is, the whole thing about what you mentioned earlier about trading back, I wouldn't do it. Because the reason why is because Chase is a good receiver that is a game changing receiver in terms of if you're losing, right? Let's say like that Cowboys game where we had 5 stops and we could have scored and no receivers are getting open. That's where you need a guy like Jamar Chase versus like if you pick Micah Parsons, right? Micah Parsons can only do so much for the defense versus a receiver who can change the whole offense. Because in my opinion, I play defense, right? You have a really good Pro Bowler corner, right? On our defense, but he can only do so much. Minka can only do so much. He can't guard everyone else. So if anything, I'm picking Chase, who can change the whole entire offense, versus Minka, who maybe like you get a little spark from him, but he's not gonna guard the tight end, the receiver on the other half, where either Jaquette or whoever is down there getting killed. He's not gonna be able to get to the court well and stuff like that. So
That's
my whole
true.
thing
That's
is
true.
so you can pick and defensive players you can pick, especially since if we have the third or fifth in the second round, you can get somebody like Jeremy Chin next year for the
Sure.
2021 draft. And or you can get a Patrick Queen. You can get a guy who's solid. You can plug and play. So it's not like you're missing out. Versus if you go to second round and try to pick a receiver, that's like, especially with Howie Roseman, that's more of a risk because those players go really fast, especially for who's on drafting board. Like the players, most of them need either receivers or O linemen. Now, another thing is if we lose next week, we play the Jets. So I want to lose. That's another reason why we should lose. We
Facts.
play the
Yeah, we
Jets,
play
so
the
that's
Jets
I feel
next
like an
year.
automatic win,
Oh,
hopefully.
word. Oh,
Yeah,
we
for the
gotta
17th
lose.
game.
So
Oh my
Yeah.
God, we gotta
mm,
lose. Oh man, we're
yeah,
gonna
we
Well, if
have
win.
to
we
lose.
win,
That's
we
what I'm
play the
saying. But
Patriots.
that could,
So I mean, either
yeah,
team
exactly. We
both
play the
teams
Pack
kind of
if we
suck.
lose.
So I mean,
Yeah, but don't sleep on the Patriots next year. They had like 9 starters opt out this year.
I don't think they would have helped them much. And most of it was on the
That is
defensive
true.
side. I, I
Yeah,
think I, I think their problem was really just Cam. That offense was just so up and down. But I could be
yeah.
wrong. I'm obviously not a fan of the Patriots. So I really could care less. I
I
hope that they continue to suck. Keep it a stack.
This year, I really do trust our drafting because the Dorsey guy we brought in. So I have a little more faith in our drafting ability. My whole thing is if we draft Jamar Chase and like let's say he becomes like a bad player, I hope not. But what do you do for the second round? For the second round, if we don't have a receiver like throughout the whole draft, we're gonna be in the same spot that we are then this year unless like Quez Watkins, who I believe should have been playing since the start of the season,
Thanks.
steps it up because he does look promising. He looks talented.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we have a bunch of wide receivers that are the exact same thing. Like, I mean, I feel like John Hightower and Quez Watkins may be different in talent, you know what I'm saying, level, but as far as what they are, they're kind of the same exact thing. And then you look at Travis Fulgham, Alshon, and you look at JJ, they're kind of the same exact build. So it's very obvious what the Eagles want, and it's never really been a superstar. I feel like Deshaun Jackson is the closest they got to a superstar, and you can see how skittish that relationship has been. I would love to see us get somebody like Jamar Chase. I just don't know if that's the route that these Philadelphia Eagles are going to go, to be honest. I just don't see them being that. And it's not even about money. It's more about, like, I don't think they want to deal with it, as petty as that sounds.
At the end
We
of the
haven't
day,
had.
but the thing is, at the end of the day, you go ahead.
No, you got it.
All right. The thing about Jamar Chase is, I don't care who we pick. Just pick the best guy who we have, who's on that draft board, right? Whether it's
Right.
Penny Sewell, whether it's Minka, whether it's Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, you got to pick whoever's the best on the board. So my whole thing about Chase, what do you mean, Joe, by we don't want to deal with it? Like, what do you mean by that?
I just feel like we don't like stars. We don't like superstars. We don't want, like, if you see every time that we have an opportunity to pick somebody that's a big name, we shy away from it. Or even to just re-sign or to keep like big names, we stay away from it. We just haven't shown in our history that we are the type of team that is willing to take on a big name. Like Carson Wentz wasn't a while he did shoot up in draft boards, he wasn't a big name. He's a very humble type guy. Even if you look at like Fletcher Cox, while he's one of the best players at his positions, he's not one of those guys that's going to come, out of press conferences and really like say something crazy. He's going to go out there and hunt and show. I just feel like there's a very specific mold of a type of player that we like, and it never really seems to coincide with superstar talent.
Well, time to change.
No, I definitely
Point.
agree.
But here's the thing, right? The main reason why I want Chase is because we're in a little bit of a rebuild, and it honestly hurts to Chase. I see that more than Wentz to Chase, because Wentz is an older quarterback. You can't really, if by the time you finish your rebuild, he's gonna be a lot older. That's another reason why I believe Wentz should leave and have Hurts build around the rookie contract. So that you bring Chase, you have two people who probably were big fans of each other in college when they were in college. So they might have a little chemistry, like just a little, maybe like they're little friends or something. So I would pick Chase. I would get rid of Wentz to rebuild this whole thing. And then if what's his name is the wrong, is Hurts is not the right quarterback, then it is what it is. But my whole biggest thing is the reason why I have a big problem with this, and y'all kind of mentioned this earlier with the Browns, is the difference is because Baker Mayfield was never this good, right? The difference is they went out, they drafted Nick Chubb, they traded for Kareem Hunt, they traded for OBJ, they got David Njoku, the tight end there. They got a decent O line. They got people who are really solid on defense, like Denzel Ward. They surrounded Baker Mayfield rather than drafting his possible replacement. See, that's the difference between what their record is and what our record is. That's why we have that top draft pick and they don't. So my whole thing is this staff. I feel like they're kind of like me and Madden. Sometimes like I'll pick like the underrated guy, I'll develop him and he'll get good and he'll come back. I sometimes do that in franchise.
I do
It
that
never
all the
works,
time.
but
Every time I win a Super Bowl, I trade my quarterback because I'm impatient and I want to draft somebody new that can run. But that it makes sense in Madden because there's an actual,
yeah.
written out,
Mhm.
formula of how these guys will actually, progress and build as
Develop.
players. That doesn't happen in
Mhm.
the NFL. Like Howie's out here playing Madden with real life
Exactly.
players, and it's
Right.
not happening. It's not working.
Exactly. I feel like Howie's thinking picking Rager was like he's not a true number one, but he can play the slot. And then we have like if you think about it, if you have Jamar Chase, he pans out like he's supposed to. You have Rigger, he pans out as a decent slot, and then you have Fulgham, who pans out how even if he plays half as good or just as good as he did in that 4 weeks, then that's a really solid receiving core right there. Then if you have a decent offensive line, which I believe we do. We're just missing 2, 3 pieces on the offensive line. We're missing a center when Kelsey leaves, and we're missing one more guard when Brooks leaves. Because I think Herbig is decent. I think Driscoll is decent. I think Mulata is good. So Then if you have that with whoever the quarterback may be, that's a pretty good offense in my opinion. Now the defense, I feel like the next couple of years we're gonna be like the Cowboys. We're gonna have like a high powering offense, but then our defense is gonna be the reasons why we lose games. It's kind of like what happened. But did y'all realize that ever since Hurts and well, not really Hurts because Hurts didn't really do it, but ever since Wentz, in terms of Wentz's 13 or 14 weeks that he played, when you stop playing hero ball, we didn't win the game. Our team is just not good enough. You have to play hero ball to try to win a game, and it's hard. It's really hard to do that because we're just not talented enough. And it's hard to say for me because I really trust in like guys like Wes Watkins and guys like Rager's talent, but it's hard to say they're not talented because our coaches are also not talented, and not
Right.
for like a couple of them. So it's a very like difficult decision to address this team because we're like we want to know what we have, but it's hard to know what we have when you're not using what they're good at,
Yeah.
right? So it's like
And
to
it's a
buy
different team every week, it feels like.
exactly.
Every
Yeah.
It's
week.
like if you have Tobias Harris or like Shaq shooting threes, right? You don't know what you have in Shaq because that's not what he's good at. You're using,
Yeah.
but then if you trade him to a team and they're using him down low, you're like, dang, this is what we could have had all along. So that's why I feel like what happened with Aguilar type stuff.
Yeah. I was
So
just
that's
gonna
my
say
whole
that.
thing
I'm
about
glad
this
you said
whole.
that.
Man, he had like what five catches. Even Mac Hollins had like a game-winning catch. Now he's not like a great receiver. He's not like special, but like he was there at least.
Yeah, seriously. And
Right.
it keeps bringing up the question that what's Howie doing, man? What is Howie doing? What is going on behind the scenes? Even Doug. But
Right.
it's hard to say. Go ahead.
It's that top to bottom. I mean, it's been the theme of the season. You even got just in special teams. Greg Ward continues to be the punt returner. He's not gonna break away. He doesn't have breakaway speed. He's not gonna all of a sudden put the Jets on and take one to the house. And then you got
Wait, who you
Boston
talking about?
Scott. I love Boston Scott. But why is he returning kicks too? Why is he on kick return? He's another one that's not going to just all of a sudden turn the burners on. Maybe because you're hoping that he holds on to the ball. Well, he almost lost one last week. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
facts.
it's just these little decisions, just the little nuances on the team that what it's confusing. And I just don't get it.
Was it a fumble? Infamous
Let me.
2K. Was it a fumble? I need to know that.
Well, my whole thing is okay. So first of all, the game should have been. You should have been put in a position where you let Jerry World, let the refs decide whether it's a fumble or not. I
Definitely, I
Right.
don't.
agree.
I don't think it was a fumble, but I can see why they called it. Like, especially if they're and you know what? I'm not too mad because if you think about it, they kind of remember that fumble that they had where we took it back to the house. So I mean
Yeah,
that wasn't a fumble either.
facts.
So like
Yeah,
both ways, I
those are
can.
facts. Okay, that was the revenge fumble. Wow.
so I mean here's the thing. I feel like a lot of okay, and you can check this and I'll send it to any of y'all want. Hurts this year has 16 turnover worthy plays or turnovers like turnovers and worthy plays combined. This year off of 13 or 14 games, I forget how much once played. He only has 20. I think it was 23 or 24. That was my biggest thing about Hurts. And now the thing is, the problem with me with Hurts is I feel like this game, like I don't know what just went into him. Like he wanted to make plays, like he wanted to prove, yeah, I got an arm, I can do this. Yeah, I can. Like you saw where he like rolled out the pocket, flipped his hips, and threw it to Travis.
Yeah,
He
that
tried
was a
like that's
terrible
something
throw.
like once, right? That's something like once would try to flip his hips and try to like slug it in there, try to get it in there. So I feel like I don't know if he listens to outside media. Maybe it got to him a little bit saying, "Oh, he can't throw." So I feel like he tried to like prove, "Yeah, I can do that." Because remember when he had that little, he escaped the pocket, ran up the field, and threw it down to Quez Watkins. See, this is the problem with the coaching though. The problem is when your quarterback is struggling, they refuse to get the ball out of his hand. They didn't run the ball, or they didn't even simple up the plays to get him in the roof. They didn't. If you peep, this game was a more traditional offense versus the last two games where we're running more of a college offense. This game and this is what I feel. Once walked up to Hurts and said, "Here you go. This is what stuff I have to do out. No rollouts, barely run the ball. Receivers are not getting open. You have Mulata went out for a concussion protocol. You have all these players out. Your offensive linemen shambles. That's pretty much what Wentz has been dealing with all season. And we see what happened. It's just you can't win with this team. Well, obviously you can, like we did beat the Steelers, but I mean the Saints, but you can't win consistently with this team. this team. You can have a winning record with this team. It's impossible. We just suck. That's just it is what it is. We have to
Facts.
accept that fate.
This is the year.
My dude
That's
just
what
went
we've
on a
been
whole
saying.
roller coaster right there to end like we just suck.
Yeah, I mean we've been saying it all year too, and it's like if we weren't in the NFC East, this season would have been long gone a long time ago.
Yes,
So I
sir.
mean, we're finally coming
Mhm.
into the realization. The Cowboys will come to it next week. You know, the Giants will come to it next week
They
most likely, and
they have to root for us.
exactly that cannot feel good. How can
Yeah.
you? Because I can't remember the last time that the Eagles have had to root for the Cowboys to win.
Right.
I know the
hmm
Giants a couple times. I'm not gonna lie, but I can't remember the last
hmm
time I've had to root for the Cowboys. So it's a beautiful
I feel
feeling.
like the power is like it's like we had like the infinite stone like in like Avengers.
Yeah.
I feel like we can do whatever we want. We could lose this game on purpose.
Either way, the
I feel
NFC
like we
East
should. We
title
should
is going
lose
to
this
come
game.
through us. You know, we have to lose for them to get the NFC East
hmm
title. Whoever wants the NFC East title has to depend on
Yeah.
us in some
Right.
form or fashion. So
Just send Jake
Yeah.
Elliott
There you
out for
go.
a game-winning
Here,
field goal. We'll see what happens.
let me ask you two something. So the next 3 years, right? What do you see the same coaching staff? Do you see the same players? Like who do you see on this team? Like I know it's a hard question. Like do you see like Josh Sweat or like Quez Watkins on this team or something like that? Like do you see Doug Peterson or Wentz or Hurts?
I think it's tough. This year's definitely going to at least give us a direction of what they're going to go into. One coach that probably won't be there is probably going to be Jim Schwartz. I mean, I feel like that's kind
hmm
of like the first kind of go to compared to the head coach. But within 3 years, it's all really going to depend on what happens this next year. If Wentz or Peterson are here together, and if they are, what does that look like? Is Wentz starting? Are they doing well again, well enough to win games? Is Hurts starting? So I mean, this season coming up is definitely gonna be able to paint that picture better for me.
yeah, listen, infamous. You are like a low brother to me. So in 3 years, we're gonna have this conversation again. Just remember that. But right now, I'm gonna say I don't see any of these coaches here in 3 years. I don't see Howie here. I don't see how this is going to be fixed on one off season. It for me, that's why I keep saying it's probably best to just let go of Carson Wentz and let him move on because that's $30 million. And if he wants to, because to a lot of people's point, he kind of holds the cards in the sense that he could
He
just say,
does.
"I'm not changing my contract." Good luck. So if he wants to move on and we can figure something out to get out of that contract, I think it's the best idea just because I don't see Doug Peterson having the mentality to stay in Philadelphia. I don't see Jim Schwartz wanting to stay. I think, I'm kind of on the other side. I feel like Jim Schwartz might be the safest of our coaches right now. And it's weird just because I feel like Doug Peterson versus Howie, that's like your boss and your supervisor fighting. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I feel like Jim
hmm
Schwartz is just kind of an employee. Same thing with Deuce, same thing with a
hmm
lot of these people that might kind of just get lost in translation. So I feel like once that Howie and Doug Peterson dynamic get, figured out, one or the other is not going to be here. And once that happens, it's going to be a very quick downslope of that. It's just going to be a brand new staff. And that's my
Right.
opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because once you change the head coach, you're most likely getting a whole new coaching staff. If you change the GM, you're most likely getting a whole new everything. So I feel like it's going to be a domino. One is going to fall at some point, and then from there, it's going to be, so in 3 years, I don't see us have, I think we're going to have a whole new staff, a whole new everything. Jeffrey Lurie might be
Yeah,
the
I
only
see
one
that.
there. He might even have a new suit and like a new haircut just to look a little different. I don't know.
hmm
But that's my opinion,
I don't know. I
You're probably
don't.
right.
I don't see. I don't see. The thing is, I don't see the coaching staff being changed in 3 years in terms of I don't see like people like I don't think Doug. Honestly, I think Doug will be here. The reason why I say that is because I 100% believe OC is gonna come in this offseason, and I 100% believe Doug is gonna do that thing where he's like trash either halfway through the season or like the whole season until it's December, or it's like, or he may do good, right? And then like Jeffrey Lurie every year. Oh, it all depends if we somehow escape into the playoffs. If we make it to the playoffs or even close, it comes down to like the last minute to make it to the playoffs, something like that. I feel like they'll always keep him if Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie are always here. I don't ever think Jeffrey Lurie will ever, until he's not the owner anymore, will ever get rid of Howie Roseman. I feel like he'll make him maybe deal with Cap, but dude, they could like imagine I fired you, Joe, right, from this podcast, and it's not even my podcast, but imagine if I fired you, right, and then because they're both Jewish, they're like really close friends, they go to the same synagogue and everything. So let's say we go to the synagogue, man, like you're just sitting there, it's just so awkward the
He's
tension,
just
and I don't
looking
feel like
at you.
Jeffrey Lurie has like he doesn't have right. Like I don't think Lurie has that guts in him to do that because he'll feel like guilty or something like that. Maybe if he gives him another spot, but then there's still awkward tension, like you know. So what I'm saying is, as long as Howie and Jeffrey are still buddies, I don't see Doug and any of them getting fired unless they have a bad season like this, or even hopefully
See,
not, but
I
even
just
worse.
I don't think Howie and Doug are that cool, to be honest. I think that I don't
Hmm.
think they're like on the same page. So I
Right.
feel like if Howie's gonna win, which you could
Yeah.
be 100% right, and the way you say it, I agree, I tend to agree. But if Howie's gonna be the winner, then Doug's probably not gonna be here that long.
Right.
Yeah,
And I mean,
I
you're
just don't
right.
think
You
they're
got to
working out.
also look at it in the bigger picture. I
Yeah.
mean, what I was just thinking is that it's easy to say in 3 years you can still picture them here, but there's a high chance that they won't be because they've already been here for like 5 years. That was going to be like 8 years at that point. Most of the time, there's a changeover unless it's like Andy Reid who was here forever. But a lot of times, if you're not winning and it's consecutive years, there's a chance that Jeffrey Lurie is not going to keep you here.
Oh shit, your twin is here.
Hmm.
No,
What happened?
his bro's here. I'm sorry. I'm just weird. I'm weird today, bro. But yeah, that's how I feel. So let me ask you a question. I think we ask you, do you want to win this game against Washington?
I mean, you'd ask me, but I pretty much already asked. I don't want to win at all. I mean, I don't want it to be a blowout. Like, I don't want us to lose. Like, when the game was 13, I was at my auntie's house. When the game was 13-3, and we were in the car, I'm like, yes, we're gonna win this game. We're gonna win the division. I'm like, okay, we're gonna like every Sunday I want to win, and then like the next day or the day before, I'm like, let's lose, let's lose, let's lose. And like I'm mad that we won or something like that. When I came home and I see like the TV, and I think it was like 37 because I got late, like I got the very end, so like it was like 37 to whatever the score was, 17. I don't want to lose like that, right? But I want
Facts.
to lose. Maybe it's like a close game. Maybe Jake Elliott becomes a scapegoat. He misses like the game-winning field goal, and we fire him.
Exactly. That's a
Hopefully, something
nice,
like
easy
that. Like
one.
if that
And
happens,
believable.
then yeah. So like so like if that happens, then I'm 100% with it. Now here's the thing: if we lose, right? If we lose this game, we play the Jets week 17. Now, if they do you think next year the game like that would even matter? Because if you think about the NFC East, we are like the NFC East is missing our couple like pieces away, except for like the Cowboys. They need a lot of pieces, but most of the teams like the Washington, they're a quarterback away from being at least at least decent or above average, above the league average. Like the Giants, they need a little more receiver help, and their defense is very solid. Once they get that like they don't really have a true. They're kind of like us. They don't have that true number one. All their receivers like at 5'10", so like they're not
Yeah.
like no big X receiver or whatever, or big Y. So they just need a receiver. And then you have the Cowboys. They need like a game changer like Surtain or Parsons or something like that. They need some defense. And it doesn't have to necessarily come up to the draft. They can they can sign new people when it comes to like free agency stuff like that. So like people like J.C. Jackson, he's probably gonna resign. But then you have like Shaquem Griffin. I think he's up for a free agency. So they sign people like that, and they get their defense, and they're really good on offense. So it's like, do you think that Week 17 Jets thing, if it has to come down to that matter, would it even matter at that point?
Hopefully not. Dude,
I mean,
you
the
know,
last
you
couple
hope
of
not.
years, it's been like that. Those last couple of games has been key. I mean, there hasn't been a team that won back to back in the East since we did it back in like I forget '06 or '05 or something like that. So I feel like it has been coming down to those
Hmm.
last couple of weeks. Either I feel like that's one of the reasons why they keep scheduling Cowboys games late in the season for us. It's because it's sometimes most of the time it comes down to those last couple of games and it's like, oh, we need to beat the Cowboys in order to make sure that we keep progressing toward the playoffs and stuff.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Hmm.
I
If they,
mean, if it does, beautiful thing that's going to be against the Jets. But who's to say who the Jets will be next year?
Well,
This is
right,
the
right, right. Because
NFL, the
they could
NFL
be
changes
nice next
so
year for
quick.
some reason.
Yeah, the NFL changes so quick. Who's to know that maybe they find the right quarterback or
Sign some
right
free
coach
agents.
or yeah, exactly. You never know what the NFL is going to be
They
next
need a
year.
lot more than a.
They
They need a
do.
lot more than a quarterback.
But who would have thought the Dolphins would be who they are
They
right
need.
now?
They need.
I mean, the Dolphins made a quick
Honestly, their
turnaround.
offseason was very underrated.
Oh, it was great, but I'm saying
Byron Jones paired with
the
Xavier
Jets could
Howard. Like,
technically have a type of, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they will. It's obviously a shot in the dark, but who's to say? I just hope that next year, if nothing else, we build upon the youth. I don't want next year to be still blaming JP or still blaming, these older guys,
JP better not be
Alshon.
on the team
That's
next
what I'm
year.
saying. Like if we still got like people like Alshon and they bring back Djax because he got a 81-yard touchdown, like then it's gonna be a wasted season in my opinion. But if we can at least build upon the future and start looking towards the future as a team, I mean, it is what it is. It might not be a beautiful season. Next year might not be a playoff team. It might not be, the greatest of teams, but it can't get worse than this year. This year was just terrible.
Oh, it could get worse.
Yeah.
To me, the Dolphins would be a legitimate threat if they had someone like Zach Ertz and like they actually used them. Like I don't know who to tie. I mean, I would
They got
try
Like
to trade him.
Jasecki.
He's pretty good.
Jasecki, yeah, he's athletic.
From Penn State.
I, he, you're telling
He's
me
not Zach
you
Ertz.
take
He's definitely not Zach Ertz.
Yeah, but we're
But-
people over here
Yeah.
saying that Goddard might be the
So,
next
like,
big
that's
thing
what I
instead of
mean.
Ertz. So
Yeah, we need to get rid of him. I mean, that's the thing. We have value on this team. We have value on this team that will be valuable other places. Like Zach Ertz will be a official tissue starter somewhere else. Carson Wentz could be an official tissue starter somewhere else. You can go down the list. I mean, Andre Dillard could start for most teams. So we have to get value out of what we have. I'm down to be bad next year if that means that the year after that we're going to be right back where we were in 2017. That's the major goal.
If you think about it, we could get a lot of picks for like some of the talent we have. Like Dillard could be a third, like an early third, maybe, or like maybe a late second. Then maybe you package him with Ertz to a team like the Texans who need both the tight end and an offensive lineman.
Facts.
So maybe you do both. Some like you package them together. I don't know. So like
I'll be like, listen, I'll give you
Zach
Dillard.
Ertz and that you.
I'll be like, I'll give you Dillard, and then you just take Nate Gary too, and then we good. Don't even worry about giving me nothing bad. Like, just bring me like a Philly cheesesteak or something, and we good. That's all I'm asking. Because
Dillard is not mentally or tough for Philly. I feel like
that's the thing.
Go ahead.
No, yeah, that's the thing. You're seeing this year, man. You have to have a different type of mentality for Philadelphia, man. We're just we're gonna slaughter.
We don't even have fans there, and when you're doing bad, our employers or whatever, they will boo you. They will hit the boo button. Get booed in your own empty building.
It's been
or
bad.
you'll get called out like Aguilar on the news channel.
Yeah, for real. That one was crazy too.
Channel.
That one was hilarious. Yeah, we're a different breed, man. But I think we about to start ending this up. We about to wrap this up. But Infamous, man, I appreciate you coming on here, brother.
Yeah.
You already know. So everybody make sure they go check out my guy, Infamous 2K's channel.
Go sell them up.
Gotta get back on that YouTube grind. I haven't posted a little bit, but I'll be back.
You gotta.
I'm waiting.
You gotta keep it up, man.
Got you, but you be safe, brother.
Appreciate it. Have a good one. Be safe.
Yes, sir. You too, man. All right. So I appreciate everybody. We're at like an hour and a half. Y'all awesome. I love y'all. Appreciate everybody that chilled, that stuck around. Couple things I want to say before we do go. Make sure you go check the description for the links to the merch, to the YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe, like, share, do all that stuff. We're going to have Ryan Hughes, who used to be the mascot for like 12 years of the Eagles, used to be Swoop. We're going to be having him on the channel very soon. And we also have some other people that we're going to have on the channel very soon. Try not to jinx it. But it's going to be beautiful. The new year is going to be beautiful. So look, if we do not do a live before the new year, all jokes aside, thank you so much for all the support that you guys have shown this year. It means so much to us. Like, to see that we're almost at 1,000, past 900 is an amazing feeling. I appreciate all of you guys. I love you guys. Thank you for everything, truly, like from the bottom of my heart. But other than that, y'all know what time it is. It's Fly Eagles Flying. We are out here. Peace.